In the Bible, God names people. He renames Abram to Abraham, father of many. He renames Sarai to Sarah, princess. He renames Jacob to Israel. He who struggles with God, God names. God renames. God defines identity. But there is one person in the entire Bible who flips the script. One person who does not wait to be named by God, but instead names God. She is not a prophet. She is not a patriarch. She is not a king or a priest. She is an Egyptian slave woman, a runaway, pregnant, abandoned, and alone in the desert. Her name is Hagar, and she is the only human being in all of Scripture who gives God a name. Why her? Why not Abraham, the father of faith? Why not Moses, the great lawgiver? Why not David, the man after God's own heart? Stick with me, because the answer will change how you see God, how you see yourself, and how you understand who God truly sees. Let's start at the beginning. Hagar was an Egyptian slave woman who belonged to Sarai, Abram's wife. Her very name in Hebrew, Hagar, is a wordplay on Hagar, which means the foreigner. She was an outsider, a foreigner, property. Sarai was barren. God had promised Abram descendants, but years had passed and Sarai still had no children. So she devised a plan, a common practice in the ancient Near East. She would give Hagar to Abram as a surrogate. Now, here is what you need to understand. Hagar had no choice. In that culture, enslaved women had no authority over their own bodies. She was used. She was a tool, a means to an end. And when she became pregnant, when she finally had something of her own, Sarai grew jealous. She dealt harshly with Hagar. So harshly that Hagar fled into the wilderness. She was pregnant. She was alone. She was running from the only home she had ever known. And nobody saw her. Abram did not see her. He had gazed at her body but had not seen her. Sarai did not see her. She had imagined the fruitful potential of Hagar's body but had not seen her. They knew of her. They knew how she could serve their purposes. But they did not see her. And then, God found her. In the wilderness, by a spring of water on the road to Shur, the angel of the Lord found Hagar. He said, "Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going?" Now notice something extraordinary. God called her by name. He didn't call her the slave. He didn't call her the Egyptian. He didn't call her the foreigner. He called her Hagar. He knew her name. He knew her story. He knew her pain. The angel gave her a command: return to your mistress and submit to her. It was not an easy command. It was not a comfortable command. It was a command that required immense courage. But then came the promise, "I will greatly multiply your offspring so that they cannot be numbered for multitude." And then the instruction, "You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard your affliction." Ishmael. The name means God hears. God heard her cry. God saw her tears. God knew her pain. And in that moment, in that encounter with the divine, Hagar did something no one else in Scripture ever did. Hagar responded. So Hagar gave this name to the Lord who had spoken to her. "You are the God who sees me." For she said, "Here I have seen the one who sees me." The Hebrew name she used is El Roi, El Roiah, the God who sees. El means God. Roi means who sees, from the root raya, meaning to see, to perceive, to look upon. Now, here is what makes this extraordinary. Hagar is the only person in the entire Bible who gives God a name. Think about that. Abraham, the father of faith, never named God. Moses, the great lawgiver, never named God. David, the man after God's own heart, never named God. Isaiah, the great prophet, never named God. Paul, the great apostle, never named God. But Hagar, a runaway Egyptian slave woman, pregnant, abandoned, and alone, named God. And she didn't name him God of the armies. She didn't name him God of the patriarchs. She didn't name him God of Israel. She named him the God who sees me. Now here is the question that haunts every scholar who reads this passage. Why Hagar? Why her? Why would the only person in Scripture who names God be an Egyptian slave woman, an outsider, a foreigner? a woman of no status, no power, no influence. Because Hagar saw what nobody else saw. Abram did not see her. Sarai did not see her. The world did not see her. But God saw her. And when you have been invisible your entire life, when you have been used, objectified, and discarded, when you have been reduced to a function, a tool, a means to an end, and then you discover that the creator of the universe sees you, not as a slave, not as a tool, not as a foreigner, but as a person with a name, a story, a future. You cannot help but name him. The theologians point out something profound. Hagar's naming of God affirms that God is not distant or detached. He is actively involved in the lives of individuals, especially those in distress. And here is the theological bombshell. This name, El Roi, is unique in Scripture. It was coined by someone outside Abraham's covenant family. It highlights God's concern for all people, not just the chosen ones, not just the insiders, not just the powerful. Hagar was an outsider, and she gave God a name that revealed his heart for outsiders. And Hagar didn't stop there. She named the well where she encountered God Be Lahai Roi, which means, well of the living one who sees me. She didn't just name God, she named the place of encounter. She marked the spot where the invisible became visible, where the forgotten became seen, where the outsider became known. And here is the beautiful detail. The name Be Lahai Roi is not just a description of God, it is a testimony. Every time someone passed that well, every time someone drank from that water, every time someone said that name, they were hearing Hagar's story. They were hearing that God sees the unseen, God knows the unknown, God cares for the forgotten. Hagar's naming of God was not just for her, it was for everyone who would come after her. She marked the place where God showed up for an outsider, so that every other outsider would know, God sees you too. Now let's bring this home. Hagar was invisible, used, discarded, forgotten, and God saw her. Here is the question this story forces you to ask. Do you believe God sees you? Because so many of us live like we are invisible. We feel unseen, unnoticed, unimportant. We scroll through social media. We compare our lives to curated highlights. We wonder if anyone really knows us, really sees us, really cares about us. And the story of Hagar screams back at us, God sees you. Not because you are important, not because you are powerful, not because you have earned it, but because He is the God who sees. Hagar was the least likely person to name God, and that is precisely why she did. Because the ones who truly see God are the ones who have been truly seen by Him. But I have saved the most chilling detail for last. Hagar named God El Roi, the God who sees me. But here is the question that has haunted scholars for millennia. Did Hagar name God, or did she name her own experience of God? Because the name El Roi does not appear anywhere else in Scripture. It is the only occurrence. It is unique to Hagar's encounter. So, is this a name of God, or is it a testimony? A declaration of what God did for one forgotten woman in the desert. Next week, I am going to take you deep into the name El Roi, and I am going to show you why this name is the most personal, the most intimate, and the most comforting name of God in all of Scripture. If this video found you, it wasn't an accident. The God who saw Hagar in the desert sees you too. El Roi, the God who sees the unseen, sees you, even when nobody else does.